So yeah, alcohol just progressed for me because of the environment that I was in. I enjoyed it way too much. It was just a fun thing to do, I guess. And so I got wrapped back up into alcohol. Eventually it got to the point where, we worked out of town and we would literally hop in the truck, go to the gas station after work, and we would drive from wherever we worked at to our hometown, which is usually about an hour to 2 hours away, and we would just get drunk pretty much every day. And the alcohol got really, really bad to the point where I felt like I was having like mental issues and mental problems. My family was just saying that they thought I was having a midlife crisis or something. And really what I think it was is that I knew that I was meant for more in life. There was something that I was meant to do. I didn't quite know what it was for a long time, so I would just drink. And because I was drinking, I wasn't doing anything outside of work to help figure out what this thing was that I was meant to do. And it finally, just the anxiety of drinking and the come down the next day, like it got to the point where I was just waking up every day and I was just like, I'd get to work and I felt like I just wanted to die, and or just hop in my truck and just drive as far as I could away from everybody and just forget about my life. And it took a toll on me. It was probably one of the lowest points of my life. Um, Even all the stuff I've been through as a kid, I don't feel like it ever hit as hard as this hit. So I knew that I had to quit drinking. So I quit my job because, it was just too much wrapped up in, my job had too much to do with me drinking alcohol, and I needed to make a change. I was not strong enough to do it without making that change. There's no way it would have happened. I tried and I tried and I tried and it just wouldn't have happened. So I quit drinking alcohol. And a little bit before that, I already kind of had found fitness. This will kind of all tie again. But I had already kind of found fitness. I was fat and overweight pretty much my whole life. When I was a kid, they used to call me Fat Boy. And I knew of it at some point I wanted to be fit. Well, I had started working out, and I knew alcohol was getting in the way of me reaching the goals that I wanted to reach. But I was just struggling too much with alcohol that, I stayed consistent working out, but I still kept drinking. I would literally count calories for the alcohol that I knew I would drink that day. So if I was eating 2,500 eat and drinking 2,500 calories, I would literally calculate in 600 to 700 calories of alcohol into my daily food, so that way I could still consistently lose weight. Never got down to a lean, good body shape doing that. It didn't work. Well, I finally made it through alcohol. I went to AA. I had a couple rough days. This was the long period where I was just struggling. Um, I had a couple rough days, and I finally just did not go back to work. I said, I cannot do this. My life has to change, and I made it change. I didn't go back to work. The next day, I went into AA, and that was the beginning of my change. If it wasn't for AA, I don't know how I would have got through it on my own, because when you go in there, there's an energy of other people that have been through what you're going through at the moment. Your mom, your dad, your wife, no one around you will understand you like going into an AA meeting. That is the only way I made it through. Once I got through a few months of going to AA and getting through this sobriety and kind of finding myself in this, was rough. I was literally up and down crying every day. I would literally wake up and I would just be bawling. I would just literally want to just lay there in bed and cry. I don't know why necessarily. I know it had to do something with the alcohol, but that's just what I was going through at the time. Then I kind of just had this moment one day where I heard this guy, I don't remember his exact words, but he was talking about how he's been going for 20 years and he still misses the drink. And that switch in me that day told myself, like, I'm not going to be that person that in 20 years I still miss drinking alcohol. Like, this isn't going to be my life. And I envisioned myself as this person that doesn't drink alcohol. And it didn't quite flip right then, but I knew the direction I needed to go with my mind, and it helped. And to this day, I don't miss drinking alcohol at all. There's not a day that I wake up and like, man, I just want to have a drink. No, not even once, not even the slightest, because I have a purpose now in my life. And my purpose is to help people get through sobriety. And how I got through sobriety is with fitness. Finding a program that wasn't just fitness. It was fitness. It was changing your life. Using fitness to change your life in a positive way. If you want to drink, go work out. And that's what helped change the direction. Creating these daily habits, non-negotiable habits every day that has helped shape my day-to-day so that I feel like I have a purpose every day. When I wake up, I have tasks I need to do that make me feel strong in the morning. I take a cold shower, I do gratitude, I read a book, or I work out, depending. Sometimes, those two kind of flop around. I have set times that I try to do a little mini workout so that, non-negotiable habits, stuff I have to do every day that strengthens my mind. Because if I can conquer those things every day, nothing else in my day is going to get in my way. So yeah, guys, that's just a little bit about me and, what has kind of helped me with my journey and where it all started. It's just kind of been an up and down battle my whole life. And for a long time, I just thought that this is how life was. And it's my mission, literally, like, this is my day-to-day of I want to wake up every day and I want to help people kick alcohol and kick their vices. I want to help people get fit and feel good about their life's confidence. And I also want to help people that have a limited mindset, because at one time I never ever thought that I would be in the situation that I'm in today. I would never thought that mindset would be a thing in my life. I thought all I was supposed to do is go to work and get a job and spend all my money on toys and, going camping. Like, that's all I thought my life was supposed to be. And it has come to so much more. I wake up every day with a purpose to help you guys become better people. And you guys can do it too. Don't limit your mind. Chase a dream. There might be a couple dreams. You never really know. It's going to be up and down no matter what. But just don't stop chasing it. There will be something, whatever it is. My first one was real estate. I started chasing real estate. And at the time I was drinking, and that's really, what got in the aspect. I wasn't ready for that journey. Something like that, if, I were to try to take something like that on now, I think I could be more prepared. But it doesn't have enough purpose behind it for me. Just getting rental properties isn't enough purpose. I want something that I can help people one-on-one on a day-to-day to better their lives. Because I might not have the worst life. I might not have grown up with the worst childhood. But I had struggles for me that made my life hard. And I believe that I can help you overcome those struggles too. You guys, don't limit yourself. All right? I and other people come from lower and worse backgrounds than potentially you. And maybe you are the one that has a background that is worse than where I came from or where someone else came from. But what affects me and what makes me so passionate about this stuff is that I believed for so long that life was only one certain way, okay? I grew up and my parents were split up. My mom wasn't around until about high school, and I fucked off in school. I wasn't good in school. My parents weren't there for me for my education. I didn't really even start reading books until I was about 27 years old. And that led me down a path of drugs and alcohol. And for a long time, I thought that's just how life was. That's all I was supposed to do. My dad as a kid did instill, hard work. I always did chores. I had a buttload of chores, honestly. And that gave me a hard work ethic. But on the other hand, I seen my mom on her side doing drugs and going down that path. And what really affected me as a kid is, and I didn't realize it until I got older, is my dad, anytime he got mad at me or anytime I fucked up, he would tell me that, you're going to be just like your mom, and over and over and over again. So what did end up happening? I ended up turning out like my mom. I started chasing drugs, started chasing alcohol. And when I was in high school, I finally ran away from his house because, that was the life that I thought I needed to chase. Moved in with my mom for a little while and pretty much dropped out of high school. I quit going to school. They would drop me off at school, and I would literally just I'm not going. And they're like, well, we're dropping you off at least. And they would drive off, and I would literally just walk across the street, hit up some friends and go to some friends' house. So school was never really my thing. When I turned 16, I started working. That was, definitely something that, was instilled into me is, you get a job and you work hard. So as soon as I could, I was 16 and I had a job. I pretty much kind of sold weed on and off all through high school. When I got the job, I worked there for about a year till I was about 17 years old. And my mom had just got out of prison, or she got out of prison when I was in when I was about 14, 15. She got out of prison. And at this point, I was living with her. Well, she kind of started to fall back into going down her old path. And I seen things starting to change. Things were getting rougher for me too. I was starting to sell more weed. I was starting to get a little bit more wrapped up into it. Nothing ever super major, but it was progressing for me, and I could see that it was progressing. And I one day was working at Taco Time, and that's my first job. I got my paycheck, and I had because I wasn't going to school, so I had put in over 40 something hours. I was busting my ass, and I was thinking I was just going to get this huge check. And I got my check, and it was $400. And I just looked at it, and I was like, something has got to change in my life. This is not how I want to be. And I think it was within the next week, I signed up for Job Corps and went to Curlew Job Corps. And that absolutely changed my life. I could see my friends weren't going down the right path. They were starting to get wrapped up in heavier drugs. Now, don't get me wrong, we always kind of dabbled in heavier stuff. Alcohol and marijuana was our main point, but we always dabbled in this stuff. And it wasn't until I started to really see the direction that everybody was going that made me just think to myself, I have to change. Something has got to change in my life. And I thank my dad every day for this, because if it wasn't for him showing me that side of hard work and, the I guess it would be the American way of living, is what kept me from diving super deep into this lifestyle. Well, went to Job Corps. I met my girlfriend and at the time, and we have been together for 13 years. We had 2 kids right off the bat. We got together and we knew we just loved each other, and that's what we needed to do, is just start a family. So we had both of our kids 17 and 18 years old. And, we got out of Job Corps, we had our kids. And I kind of just was chasing money for a long time. That's what I thought I was supposed to do, get a good job and work hard. So, we started off, I went to, started off in our own place. Then I went to North Dakota. Did that for like a year, and then I realized how much I missed my family. I came home, and my oldest daughter, she was probably 1.5 at the time, and she was scared of me. I went to go pick her up, and she didn't want nothing to do with me because she didn't know who I was. And I just like told myself right then and there, I'm not going back. And I didn't go back. I left everything that I had there, all my clothes, TV, all my stuff. I just left it. I just didn't even go back because I knew if I went back, I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have stayed. Um, so then after that, I worked at a couple factory jobs. My head was clear. I, didn't drink or anything like that for a long time. And, I was just trying to support my family and do what I thought I was supposed to do. And then I ended up finding a construction job. A little bit before that, I kind of started drinking again, not like, heavily, but like here and there just for fun. And I found a construction job, and we all got into doing like four-wheeling, being out in the sand dunes and stuff. And that just comes with alcohol. And that's what everybody does in this small town that I moved to. Well, it just progressed at that point. And